Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwann and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the pleasure of meeting with Neil Rackham. He's the author of Spin Selling. Welcome, Neil.
Thank you.
How can a company upgrade their messaging in a way that it resonates better in the marketplace, not only for marketing people or salespeople, but also for the customer?
Everything starts with the customer. And getting close to the customer and understanding customer is the most important thing. But remember that messaging is most important in these transactional sales. That's not really where the sales force of the future is going to work.
Right.
The sales force of the future is going to work in these much more complex consultative sales. Something I find very interesting, Anil Menon, who's Senior Vice President of Marketing at IBM, once asked me a question, and I thought it was a brilliant question. He said, how do you market a product that's being sold while it's being designed? And when you think about it, in the consultative sale, that happens in almost every industry.
Right.
We're designing the answer for the customer as we're selling it. You can't give the customer a brochure saying, your answer looks like this. It doesn't work. So what do we do? The solution seems to be that marketing has to produce tools to help salespeople create customer value.
Right.
And there's very interesting work going on in this area.
So what was the answer to the VP of Marketing of IBM?
I think the answer was the role of marketing is to help salespeople create customer value. So, for example, there are 4 stages the customer will go through in making any decision. The first stage, the customer is asking, do I have a problem that's worth solving? Now, in that stage, analytical tools to help customers quantify their problems, understand how important they are, understand the value they'll get from solving them. Salespeople can't make up tools like that. Marketing often has the experience to do it. That's creating customer value because it's enabling a salesperson to do something a customer wants done. In the second stage, once the customer says, yes, we've got a problem, we're going to put resources in to solve it. What's the customer concerned with in the second stage? The customer wants to know, why are you different from your competitor? Why should I choose you? Marketing can provide a lot of tools to differentiate, and the customer's hungry to understand those things.
But technically that's not a customer yet, that's a prospect.
Okay, it's a prospect.
Right.
And though I like to think that
Right.
one leads into the other so naturally that it probably doesn't make much difference. But the next stage is, suppose I say, yes, I need to do it. Yes, I've looked at you and you seem pretty good. The next stage is, what's the risks of going with you and how do I feel safe?
Right.
Marketing can produce wonderful risk reduction tools. They can arrange site visits, they can have case studies, there are things they can provide salespeople with so salespeople can satisfy the customer's concerns in that area.
Before we get to number 4, what is more important today in today's economy? Reducing risk or reducing price?
Reducing risk, absolutely. And when we say today's economy, I mean a recessive economy.
Right.
And in that economy, the mistake is we think price reduction will get us the business. Let me tell you a story. In the last recession, I was working with a company on the buying side. So I sat in with the buying committee. They were buying a big electronic storage system. There were 3 competitors, IBM and 2 smaller ones. Now, IBM was, of course, the most expensive and the least adventurous solution. The other 2 smaller ones each had quite innovative solutions. Now, the customer was really getting very nervous and was beginning to pull away from the smaller competitors and go to IBM. And so the smaller competitors each thought about what their strategy should be. And we asked for a presentation from every competitor. One of the small competitors came in and actually cut their prices another 5%. And the buying committee was horrified. They said, this is a sign they're desperate. They may go out of business. If we buy their storage system, we'll lock all our records up and the key will go because they'll go belly up. So we can't do that. And so they ruled them out because they cut price. The other small competitor was smart. They said, hey, wait a minute. If IBM is bidding in this, we can't be too expensive. So we've got to come back and we've got to do it a different way. So they came back and said, we think you're worried about doing business with us. Be honest with us. And the chairman of the committee said, well, yeah, we are. We are. These are difficult times. This is a recession. I said, how can we make you feel safe? We'll bring our bankers. We'll give you a confidential inspection of our books. You can see our forward R&D strategy. We'll do things to help you feel comfortable. They were the ones who got the business.
Smart strategy.
Yep.
Let's circle back on the 4 steps. What's number 4?
Let me just go through again 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
Step 1 the customer goes through is, do we need to change?
Right.
Step 2 is, who can help us do that? Step 3 is, how do we overcome the risks of going with them? Step 4 is good old-fashioned price negotiation.
Okay.
It's a very predatory thing, because this is the last chance the customer has to get something back.
Right.
And every cent they save goes to the bottom line. So they start squeezing as their last chance to do it. Marketing can provide pricing tools, and always has done. And those tools help salespeople by giving them guidelines, by helping them know what can be traded off against what.
Right.
And marketing, if they're smart, will know the value of each trade-off and will be able to produce the kind of equation where the customer can be satisfied and margins maintained.
So the key is, I assume, flexibility and meeting the customer in a way that the customer does not get the impression you're desperate.
Yes. But to leave salespeople to do this for themselves is a tall order. It's very difficult. So essentially, marketing and sales working together can make that a much smoother process.
So as a VP of sales, let's say you realize that the collaboration can help everybody. How do you take the initiative to get better collaboration with marketing?
The first thing is we have to talk about common problems and common issues.
What do we have in common?
What we have in common is we are the 2 functions of this company that generate the revenue and make that revenue generation profitable. No one else does that. We 2 are the ones who make that happen. Now, at the moment, I'm making happen what I think I can make happen, and you're making happen what you think you can make happen. We're not saying, if we were working together, if we were just one department, what would we do differently? That's a very good question for a VP of sales to ask a CMO, or vice versa. If we were just one department, what would we do differently to generate more profitable revenue?
So that conversation can be initiated also by the VP of marketing.
Oh yes, or the CEO. And in most cases, it's initiated by the CEO who says, look, you 2 guys tell me totally different stories. I'm tired of this. You're pointing fingers at each other. You're blaming each other. What I want is to bang your 2 heads together and get you in a room so you come up with some common strategy that we can all run to.
Tune in to Selling Power TV tomorrow. We're going to continue our conversation with Neil Rackham, and we talk about a very important subject, which is how to sell in a recession.